Go ahead.
That's good, because maybe we get focused on until the end. So I'm here as a different species. I'm a designer. There's a lot of things I can connect to and relate to, but from another perspective as a designer. So I have two topics for today. How can UX design contribute to open innovation and change? And a very different topic, because we had the first meeting of the community. What's like the opener? What is it actually? I try to explain to clients. I work a lot in the ICT platforms, apps, software for healthcare, and they don't actually know what it is. So I have some ideas how to position this community like a brand. Hopefully stir up a good discussion. So this is my company and mission statement. Computer don't be a machine. That's what we try to tell everywhere. Because technology should be a facilitator, an enabler, and easy to use. And also working retail e-commerce, and we make stuff really easy and fast. But in healthcare, we just redesign old systems. We create a new layer on the front end, because the back end it's very slow and complex. So we try to make it really user friendly. How? We create insights. We gather insights, mostly in the field actually, which is pretty weird in healthcare. It's not done a lot. So we research, interview doctors, physiotherapists, patients, what they actually need, which is very normal in the retail world. But in healthcare, it's not so human-centered as we think. So based on that data, we create prototypes, digital products, new interfaces, and then we see a lot of friction in hospitals, but also in ICT suppliers. And that's why we train development teams to have this human-centered mindset. We help them to innovate based on qualitative data. And we do masterclasses for free. It's a lot of mission work, but I believe the mindset of UX and design thinking will change. So this is an innovation model, process of innovation. And here you see first gathering data and gathering insights, also collecting data. And then we define the problem. What's actually the problem here? Why is this system not working? Why people cannot perform their tasks? And then we generate ideas, create prototypes, and then we build it. So it's like two phases, the problem space and solution space, before actually building software. And this is a very new mindset. So they have to go back. And this is not a linear process. It's actually non-linear. So a client of ours is developing a doctor information system, has a software platform in the market, and they're losing users, they're losing doctors, because it's not user friendly, and they have another competition they go to. So we go back and research why they're actually leaving, or they're not happy or frustrated. Then we create prototypes, and then we go back to the market. So it's a process of innovation. And I think for openEHR, this is an interesting space to be, because most systems are already in the market. And how can we create prototypes to prove that it can be different? And I have an example of a prototype later on, which is a vision, probably not reality, and maybe one day. But to understand what UX design really is understanding the problem first, collect insights, go to the market, go into the field, then design prototypes, digital products, which we did here. Then we tested with real users, different types of users, of course, older people, younger people, doctors, and we research in the real context. There's not much time to use software, so we want to save time there. And then when a product is launched, you need to optimize constantly the usability. And it's pretty normal when you order your groceries online. It's constantly optimized within healthcare software technology. It's almost non-existent sometimes, and which is strange. And we create real strong business cases just to optimize usability based on the time. They have to log in many times, perform tasks many times. It's pretty easy to save time for healthcare professionals. So about the prototyping, for one of our clients, we created a vision of the future for a healthcare information system. And the use case was, how can we offer real-time patient information to provide better healthcare in a regional healthcare network? Meaning the system is where the doctor starts, but she cannot communicate with other healthcare professionals. So the case was, how can we save time and improve the healthcare journey, the patient journey? How can we share data faster? And of course, connect this global network. So some images here. We start with the end user, with the patient called Machiel. She's actually my mother. She has a knee operation. So it's a true story. I have real data from that point of view. But we want to go from the starting point of the patient journey. So in this mobile environment, in this app, she starts a questionnaire. And currently there's a lot of different providers of questionnaire products that are sort of launched into the market, which is great, but it should be integrated into the patient journey, not separated products. As you can see here, she decides to share her fitness data or health data from other apps. So here you can see she gives access to other information from other products. It starts at the beginning of this patient journey. So another important thing is she has the option to have a video connection, and she picks a convenient time in the calendar of the doctor. So we empower the patient to take control, which is very scary for a lot of doctors. They don't want it, but it's going to happen anyway. It's going to change. So here we are. This is Dr. Elise. This is a very abstract visualization of almost every healthcare information system, or EPD. I don't know the English word, electronic patient file, record. And it starts here. And imagine Marianne, her appointment is right there. Elise takes a look at her patient file, and you see her meetings, her 360 degrees patient file, some data about medication, of course, information. And on the left side, you can see the Zorg network, the health network, and other connected people. And now we start dreaming, right? Because you want to easily add the total network of Marianne. So imagine here you share this patient file. Now it gets scary because of all the privacy, but we're dreaming here. And this works like a Google Drive. So Marianne needs to go to a clinic for a knee operation, and she just had an intake with Dr. Elise. There's data there, there's information, which is now not shared in the right way. So she wants to go to the Zuiderweg clinic to plan her operation, and the referral is made. But in this way, the data is shared real time. So Marianne can decide to withdraw this connection if she wants. Elisa, I mean the doctor, and there you go. You go to the other system of the orthopedist, and the assistant receives a notification. You have access to the patient file real time of Marianne, my mother. So when it's accepted, go back to the patient file and the patient record, and then something interesting happens. So after the operation, data, images are stored in the shared patient file, which is real time. And on the left side, you can see that the orthoped is also part of the network, and the doctor can instantly connect, chat, email with this other healthcare professional. So that's why we call it the 360 patient file. This technology exists and can happen actually, but you need a sort of new layer to create a new layer on the existing systems. So we believe this prototype is good for the patient, good for the doctor, and it will save time, and it's much faster because of the connected network here. And another interesting thing is, in the assignment they ask us this, how can we sort of connect with local healthcare providers, other doctors in the region, and how can we see more data, which is also possible with openEHR technology. So this is a prototype, and the interesting thing is it took us a few weeks to make. And what we did, interviewed a lot of doctors. Imagine you had a magic wand. What do you want? There's too much patients in the waiting room right now. There's a lot of pressure. I wish I could save time. And based on that, we created this user story. And this is a prototype. Now we go to the developers. A lot of you are developers here, I believe. And then we start brainstorming as what is actually possible. How can we create a roadmap for the future from now until 3 years? And this means it's inspiration, but we also validated this prototype with technology people, with doctors, with policymakers. So this is how fast it can work, and of course you can test solutions quickly. So this is the first part of my presentation. Maybe some questions around this UX, design thinking, prototyping, before I go to a different topic. Any questions? No? Sure? No, then it's probably a good story. So we were on the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, I can make it, no problem. This is 5 minutes, the thing we've all been waiting for. We discussed how can we make it easy to understand what openEHR actually is, and how can we communicate value. So we have to understand that in the Netherlands we have a different world, different audiences, and together we need to tell compelling stories like NADAP is doing to the world. We have to communicate value, not from a technical perspective. As a group, we can build proof of concepts and share best practices. So this is where we are. They endorsed this meeting, and I made a few sketches of a platform that could be a brand as well, a community that could look like a brand. Just to stir up more imagination from my designer's perspective. So we chose this one together with Machiel Oskam, and we thought this would be interesting. It's open, it looks like a network. You have a smile, maybe of the patient, hopefully, that is in the center of the universe. And how could the structure look like? I had a few weeks ago a call with the Ministry of Healthcare and asked them to endorse our initiative and to endorse prototyping. And they said, we're not going to do anything like that. It has to be the market deciding what happens. We all know this is a problem in the Netherlands, but we need to influence policymakers. So imagine this is a platform, a website, a community, and we can help policymakers to define their strategy and policy. So 3 different audiences, and imagine this is a website where we have a main call to action, and that is request, like you said, for collaboration. What can we do together? It's all in concept, but the main thing is the main content should be about cases and projects. So we can slowly have this evolution going to more open technology. I'm already early now.
Yeah, you're now early.
Now early. So maybe this is an interesting discussion we can talk about because we
actually we can take a few questions.
Yeah.
There's no microphone. There we go. I think we can take a few questions now. I'm actually really interested, especially from the Dutch, but also maybe from the international side on so I think we all know in openEHR, that's what you're explaining, or we have a little bit of a problem explaining to people what it is that openEHR brings. And your presentation already gives an idea. The idea here is that we would start sort of a community network of people who are interested, but explain it on different levels. And I'm really curious if there are any reactions to this idea. So hey, I'm looking a little bit at Ian.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I'll go on then.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, fascinating. Thank you. I mean, it's not a secret that the openEHR board, which I've just stood down from, has been looking at the whole issue of marketing, brand,
Yeah.
how we explain the story. It is not easy. It's been a pretty tortuous journey.
Mm.
I would have said we got to somewhere around the same place. The visuals were interesting and controversial that we came up with. So there's a little bit of a pause while we reflect. But I think it is definitely about trying to tell that story and moving away from some of the low-level tech stuff.
Yeah.
People hit the openEHR website at the moment and it's full
It's
of.
a techie world.
It's a techie world, so we need to explain it at those different levels. The techie stuff has to stay there.
Yeah.
It just has to be in the background a little bit.
Yeah, it's that part of the
Yeah, I like the logos, but I don't want to do any more looking at branding or marketing or logos ever again.
I just try to make things simple and understandable, and then hopefully it speeds up the transformation.
But now is the time, because I think we are getting, people are starting to understand that what's happening now is not good enough, and they're looking for fresh solutions.
Yeah, and actually what we discussed is, can we create simple prototypes or films, short films of prototypes, that this actually is a solution that works or could work. So yeah.
Okay, there's another question.
Right.
Well, it's actually another question. It's a reiteration of the statement that you said about the presentation. I think openEHR is not a new technology, and I think it's looking at the past. We've been in this tech corner down, really digging deep for a very, very long time. And this is, I think, what makes it or made it in the past so difficult, because if you actually come up, it was very, very difficult to explain what we are actually doing and why we are doing it. And this is an ongoing challenge, and I agree with Ian. I think that's the biggest challenge that we have, to actually bring it into some visualization, into kind of try an elevator pitch in openEHR.
Yeah.
Give me 20 minutes. I give you the elevator pitch on this, but no one actually has the time and it takes the time actually to really follow really down to earth. And so we need some visualization, we need prototyping, we need easy journeys of what value proposition does it
exactly
solve.
Yeah.
And I think this is really key to bring openEHR to where it belongs.
Yeah, interesting. In my daily practice in the policy maker part, they say, like you said, I don't care how it's called or what the technology is, it just should work. Then on the healthcare provider part, it's the same. And when I go to ICT development companies, they say, we are already open. Our data is, we can share whatever. No, but it's very different. So it's just lost in translation, right? And I understand it's a big challenge, and I'm just interacting here.
Well, there's one more comment. We do one more. That's
Great.
the final one. Hello.
Thank you, Tree, and I'm happy to go home.
This is a very good pitch for the openEHR network, but I need to team with HL7
Sure, I think.
because
Yeah.
married, so
Yeah.
and I know there is also a group busy with that.
Yeah, we shouldn't be, we should collaborate like the last picture in this marriage.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Happy to.
Yeah, like
discuss
that.
this.
Like Eric told in the story, the shotgun way that actually needs to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. But we are actually working with EIA to try to work with HL 7 to get in a, three kind of wedding with three, which is a bit of a, it's modern. It's modern. Let's put it that way. With that, Machiel, I really want to thank you for your.
Thank you for your time.